Why don't I like this more? Seriously, why don't I like this? Why don't I like this more? This is clearly reminiscent of Guy and a whole. I can't. It's Monday and midday. I'm far too fucking tired to think of all the names of the bands. I'm just going to assume that Maze, Frankie Beverly, all that kind of stuff. I love that. I love their songs. So why doesn't this make me feel the same? Why am I not listening to Bruno and why am I listening to this and I'm not getting the same feeling? Is it me? Let's acknowledge that first. Is it me? Am I viewing him as a contemporary? Am I unable to enjoy it because he's someone who does similar stuff to me, just much, much more successfully? Much more successfully. I don't feel like the answer's no, because I don't feel jealous of him. Because I know that anyone who wants to succeed in the industry has to hang around with a bunch of people I don't want to hang around with, to be perfectly honest, and do a bunch of shit I don't want to do. So, yeah, I should be saying good on him, right? Right? I should be happy about this. And I'm not. I recognise all the little programming things that I like. They're all there. All the little sounds are chunky, and the way it's arranged and everything. Yeah, it's all very reminiscent of the stuff I like. So, why does this guy who feels like he should be the closest thing out there in the pop market to an act made for me, for my tastes? Why isn't it landing? Why isn't it landing right with me? Why am I not enjoying it? Why am I listening to it and going, yeah, that's this kind of tune with all of those boxes ticked? You know, why, when everyone else plays Uptown Funk, do I just hear Walk the Dinosaur with different lyrics? And I think maybe the problem is that Bruno Mars is to 80s soul what a lot of those. I don't know. I'm 40 years old, right? So when I grew up, it was kind of when I was a teenager, becoming aware of music when I was 16, 17. It was all about 60s and 70s music. So we had a bunch of bands that their job was to put on 60s and 70s clothes, have 60s and 70s haircuts, and make music that was reminiscent of that. Because we wanted something for us, but we understood that the original music fundamentally wasn't for us. Is that what he's doing? Maybe that's his job. Maybe his job is to make something for this generation that sounds enough like that. And maybe those are two very, very different things. Maybe there's a world of difference between making something that is meant to evoke the sound of those types of music in a new context and those actual types of music. Maybe the reason I don't feel it is because there is a million miles between of undiscovered territory, a million billion miles of it between being the real thing and being an incredibly well coordinated impression of the real thing. But then, what does that mean? Doesn't that mean then that the real thing is just a facet of a time and a place that he had to be born in? Oh, well, if he'd been born 20 years earlier in Harlem, I would have thought he was the real thing, doing exactly what he's doing now. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't seem fair to him, does it? Because it's not like the guy can't do it. Huh? Go for it, Vic. See you later. It's not like he can't sing. It's not like he can't do it. He can evidently do it. Now, I'm always going on about people who are hired because they have a certain look rather than the ability to do it. And he's not that. Or he's not even that good looking. Do you know what I mean? He weren't hired for his looks. He was hired because he likes making this kind of music and he's good at it. Now, ostensibly, those are the criteria I'm supposed to respect. That's the best case scenario for a younger, prettier version of someone like me. And yet, for some reason, even though I like him personally, I like the guy. I've got nothing against him. I think every time I've seen him, I don't even dislike the kind of music he makes. I'm like, I listen to it and I'm like, geez, I'd rather listen to this than a million tunes by Solange, Flolange, or whatever. Are there cranes in the sky, love? Are there? Deep. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't land the same way as the old music does. And I think I have to admit that some of it is me. I think I have to admit that some of it is the fact that I love the old music, not just because of the synth sounds and the drum programming and the vocal melodies, and not just because of all that. I love it because it's fundamentally a type of music that I feel is forgotten and underloved. And that's what I love about it. I love the fact that it's not for everyone. That's part of it for me. I don't know, maybe that's elitism or snobbery. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I like the fact that it's great music that is largely neglected. It makes me feel like I've discovered something special. And Bruno Mars doesn't give me that feeling. He gives me the same feeling as a new Madonna single. I like the sounds more, but I get the same feeling. I guess that's why. This is a purely personal opinion. I wish Bruno the very, very best in everything he does. He's marvellous, and I'd rather have 50 more people out there making the kind of music he does than a lot of the rubbish we have to listen to. But it doesn't land with me. It does not land with me. I put on Joy and Pain by Maze. Joy and pain like sunshine and rain. There's a melodic core to it and a core of heart and songwriting that I just don't see as here. I don't see as here. I hear that old thing that I'm constantly hearing from the mainstream when they try and impersonate the kind of music that I love. I hear all of the trappings, all of the techniques, the costume's right, the look's right, this is that. But right at the heart of it, underneath the surface, there's an empty space of content. There's an empty space. And it seems like that's the essential ingredient of pop music. That empty space at the centre. The blank, empty nothing, which anyone can put meaning into. Maybe that's why pop works. It doesn't have meaning. You're allowed to invest your own thing in it. I don't know. I don't make music with a blank space in the middle. I'm no good at it. And I don't enjoy it. And maybe that's why maybe that's why Bruno sells to 50 million people and I sell to 50. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the price. And honestly, between you and me, fair play.